hopefully a few crays in as well. I think I'd love to go and find a blue cod as well. You know, this spot has a few moki hanging about too, so it'd be really good to go and find one of those. But such a nice day out today, so it's just good to go and get out. Wellington certainly provided for us. Looking forward to it. Absolutely beautiful spot here. Hopefully going to jump in here. We've dived in here. It's a bit of current moving in between these two bits through here, so we found some crays around this area, but we'll see how it pans out. Just good to be out there, eh? Looks nice and calm, and the view of the South Island from the southerly is just incredible, eh? Just incredible. That's me. I'm going to catch up with the fellas. Hopefully a nice full float boat when we come back. I'm really looking forward to it.
It was full because it was dark.
Little goats track down to the spot. So we've marked a bit of an area from the shoreline that we think is going to be alright. It's just making our way out to one of these big rock formations, and hopefully there'll be a bit of area that we can go and shoot some fish from the surface. Now, there's a few people just starting off with their diving today, so just making sure that they can go and breathe up nicely and hopefully be able to go and see some fish. So we're just going to make our way out there, just to jumping in. You can see how clear the water is. A few butterfish around. I'll just try and point one out there. They're very cruisy, quite calm at the moment. It's all looking very, very fishy. Yeah, so as people started to see them from the surface, I point one out from my eye here. She goes down, lines it up, and just sticks out of the way. So try to keep a closer eye on it. I can see it dart into the kelp there, so take a breath. Try and get nice and parallel to the weed line as well. Just trying to stay patient here, because I know it's going to pop out eventually. There it is, pops out to the side there, goes for a bolt. Not quick enough, unfortunately. So first butterfish for the float boat, great way to go and start. Yeah, so the lungs are warming up here, just trying to identify areas that fish might be holding more so than others. And I noticed out the corner of my eye, I see a butterfish floating up a little bit more suspiciously than the other ones. It's actually Maya's first butterfish that she's shot, so this is a massive highlight of the day for me. Certainly the highlight, actually. So just really cool to go and get people involved in it. If you've got the little bit of skills and a few spots, and people love it. So to be able to go and share it with someone else is just really, really cool. Always tough to get people in the water, and really cool to go and see that first fish smile again. So we've probably been diving this side of the rock for about 20 minutes or so now, and just starting to really notice that the butterfish are getting a little bit more wary. They're sticking deeper into the kelp, and just notice this blue cod just getting a little bit too inquisitive, so never going to turn one down. One of the favourite fish for me. As we start to see the fish numbers ease up on that side of the rock, we decide with warmed up lungs to head out a little bit deeper. And I spot this paddle from the surface. One of the brilliant things about having nice clear water. 3 in this patch here, just after the 1 for me. I think that's all I take for the day. Just really good to go and see. Quick measure up for me. Comfortably legal. Not quite legal sideways, but good to go and see for the area. So I'll leave the other 2 to grow for a little bit longer and keep heading out for a bit more current and hopefully a few more fish. As you can see, the water's quite a lot dirtier on this side of the rock. Sort of happens when the current sort of pulls together a fair bit. But the stalk's going well, seen a few fish, nothing really worth shooting here. I spot this massive butter down in the kelp and it just hasn't really noticed me. I try and wait for it to turn broadside and it bolts, but again, not quite quick enough. This butterfish was actually a personal best for me. Went 55, 56 centimeters, so pretty chuffed with that. This video here is a good example of something I've been working on with my spearfishing. You'll notice here that I sort of wait for the fish to swim in the line of the gun rather than chasing it around. So I'm tracking it with my eyes here, sort of expecting where it's going to go. And I find it a lot easier to go and get in line with it, sort of better protection of the fillets, and to make sure you can get more accurate shots. So we're persisting with this dirty water this morning in the hopes to go and find some moki. We know that there's a good couple of schools out here, so just popping over the top of this kelp bed in the hopes of finding some. We know that I like to hang around the gutters around here. Come across it, there's a decent amount in the school, so try and select one of the bigger models out. And I hit what I think is a good shot, but as you pull it up here, initially thinking it looks pretty stoned, but it actually ends up being a shot through the mouth, so definitely not my most secure of captures, but really good to go and get one on the board.
Tony!
About the dirtiest the water got today. We're probably in 2 meters here. You can just see the sunlight getting through. And lo and behold, there's 2 moki in this really shallow area. I often find them here in the winter. Try and line the shot up a little bit better than my last one, and manage to pretty much stone it, so straight through the lateral line. There'll be plenty of fish for us today. Time to get that on the float boat and head for some more crays. There's a really good tip for the beginner spearo. I've just seen a red moki here swim into one of the cracks, and what I do is I drop my gun, and I often know that they cohabitate with the crayfish, so to mark an area, drop your gun, and just see if you can follow them. Often they'll swim into an area where it's a little bit dark with some shelter, and it might lead you to a bit of a cray nest as it's done here. So as I find, see a bit of a bigger buck down on the bottom. Just really cool to go and see these numbers, so line up which one I might be going taken. Turn into a bit of a rubbish grab here, to be fair, so they start to back off, but there's just nowhere to go. There's so many in there that it's pretty easy to go and be like, what goes after. So really enjoying the diving at the moment. Water started to clear up a little bit, but I'm just choosing between the nests, really waiting for someone to go and catch my eye. These crays are pretty good size. I see the top one, I think, ended up going about 2 kilos or so when we weighed it. Yeah, again, super shallow water here. You can see that the cray's putting up a little bit of a fight to go and make sure he can stay home, but trying to convince him to come home for dinner with me. Again, yeah, no crays worth your life or anything like that, but certainly make sure that you're diving with a buddy in the shallow water, because you just never know. But managed to dive, dislodge him, and then return him to the float boat. Yeah, so I see in a couple of crays, you see my gun line on the ground there, so obviously keen to go and try and pull a few out of this crack. So this nice female on the side should be a much easier grab, but make a bit of a hash of it as usual. yeah, nice check, make sure there's no eggs or anything like that before you go and pop it in the float boat. But yeah, some good size to down, so really good to see for the area. I think I was tempted here to go and grab another power, so I'm just doing a little bit of a survey around, but end up cruising through, maybe get a little bit tempted by a few more of the cray looking holes and just see an orange leg. Looks out of place, sort of wait for him to continue to walk up, hide myself behind the scalp as much as possible, and then wait for it to move. Doesn't really see me coming, even though I can't screw that one up. So that was probably the deepest we were diving most of the day. I wouldn't say it was much more than sort of 5 or 6 meters. And yeah, some big numbers through here as well. This ended up being number 5 and number 6 for us. Went to mum and dad, and that never hurts to get out of flat dishes by bringing in a bit of seafood. So made sure to give everything a good measure up before heading in. Everything was plenty well fed out here, so no troubles with that. But always find best practices to measure while you're out there. It also helps with the keeping of the fish as well. So measure before it goes into the float boat, and then a measure double check before heading into shore as well. Yeah, so this video is really indicative of the power count in the area. As you can see, there's power pretty much on every rock here. It's really cool to go and see an ecosystem in balance and where it's getting respected. Probably more so because it's a harder area to go and access, but even the people that do get there are very conscious of what's going on. I was just after the one power today. I know my flatmates and a few other people went diving with might have been hanging out in the shallows a bit, so I'm sort of conscious of how many they might be taking. I think they probably took 2 or 3 or something like that each, so not really after that many, but yeah, really good to go and see. Yeah, so in this video you sort of see what we took for the day. This is split between sort of 4 or 5 divers. Really good opportunity to go and share time with friends, and really grateful for the conditions and Tangaroa for getting us all safe. Yeah, really good to go and see, and hopefully everyone's keen to come and watch the next one. Try and maybe go in a little bit deeper next time, so a few people will be more experienced and they'll be excited to go and get out there, but it was just an awesome day out. Great viz and can't complain. See the results on the dive, we just made the drive back. Some nice little bigger crays, a few power, a couple of moki, nice cod there, and then a few butterfish. So we'll be good to go. And we'll run some popcorn prey with that. Maybe make the fish into some fish burgers or fish sammies and get it all tidied up and ready to go for the week. Such a good way to go and get out, and quite enjoyable for a bit of time with some mates. Such a good spot out there, and it's actually just one of the better spots in Wellington that you can, well, I found that you can go and get, you know, a feed of cray and go and get some butterfish and the odd moki and blue cod as well. You know, so often it's not as balanced around so many of those spots because there'll be, you know, too many kinner, or you wouldn't find enough fish. With the thing is, it's, you know, it works in harmony and whatnot, so it's really good to go and find a spot that you can feel like you can tick off those 3 big sort of classic dive food groups. But yeah, it's been a good dive, and go and throw the video together at the end of it, and see how it turns out. It's awesome to go and see a couple of people with their first fish and their first shots. Just makes it so much more enjoyable when you feel like you're helping other people go and experience what is a passion to you, and get amongst into it. See you in the next one.